seat.
Okay, let me recap here for a second. So we have Luna. She woke up early in the morning. She came down. She had a nice little conversation with the barbarian Thrak. Learned quite a bit about him in a nice little conversation. Shortly thereafter, in walks Fraken and Rafkis, who just finished up talking with the wizard at the academy. And again, had some conversation. Luna decided she was going to head into town and learn all she could about it on the eve of the Swallowtail Festival. By that point, Rafkis kind of steps in and says, "Hey, how would you like me to show you around? I know this town quite a bit, actually." And the two of them drift off and wander the town and see the sights, but also have some more good conversation. And the wiles of Rafkis and his pet wolf come through here as he kind of invites Luna to help him capture a goblin for his own purposes. They have this interesting conversation and eventually find themselves back in the Rusty Dragon Inn. And there, drinking the day and the night away, is, of course, Fraken and Thrak still sitting at that table, making conversation and laughing. Luna comes in up to the bar, and Rafkis comes over to his friends Thrak and Fraken, begins a conversation for a short while, looks over at Luna, invites Luna to the table to have even more conversation. And there's about 24 patrons in the place now. Everybody's getting rocked, and they're all excited about the festival beginning tomorrow. It's around 11, 12 o'clock at night. Go.
Well, I'm excited for the festival tomorrow.
Oh, it should be a good time. It's always a good festival. Lots of people come from miles and miles around.
I'm sure they do. I can't wait to hear some of the stories of the adventurers and their exciting tales.
Well, this is the place to hear them. This is the most popular tavern in town. Of course, they'll be drinking in the streets, and just keep a close eye on your purse, because there's plenty of thieves in town too.
I will.
Sadly, a festival like this also draws the less desirable elements. But if you stay with Fraken and I, you'll be fine.
All right then. I'll keep close to you guys. You seem to be like good company anyway.
Well, thanks.
You guys are sitting at the same table, right, with Fraken and Thrak?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, Fraken, he's not as sauced up as you might think he is, and he has been looking at you, Luna, from the corner of his eye. And at one point during the conversation, he leans onto the table and into your eyes, kind of turns his head sideways a bit, squints his eyes, and he says, "What are you hiding from?" Just kind of abruptly. That's what he states.
Hiding? I'm not hiding from anyone.
Fraken, where's your manners? And I elbow him again, like I did at Borishali's shop.
And he kind of acknowledges it, but he doesn't break his glare at Luna. And he asks another question. He says, "Are you of elven blood? Are you a pure?"
I'm part elven.
That's not true, though. Are you trying to bluff?
I'm part elven.
You're not part. You're full-blooded elf.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. Sorry. Yeah, I'm full-blooded elf.
All right. And he leans back in his chair, looking a bit satisfied with himself. So there you go, my friends. Pure elf. But still, I am curious of what you're hiding from. Last night you were quite focused on hiding that fact of you being an elf.
I'm being pursued. Well,
Pursued?
pursued, yes. Or at least, I think I am.
You don't know?
Well, I'd rather avoid being found by certain people in my life. Let's just say.
Rafkis kind of looks around, to his left and to his right and bends over and, you're not a criminal, are you?
Oh, no, far from it. I'm just escaping a few things.
Well, I can certainly understand that. That's why I live in the woods, to escape. Suppose it's your business if you don't want to talk about it. Because you got to understand, Rafkis lives in the woods because he was raised by druids, and I'm half elven. So he can kind of respect the whole privacy thing.
Yeah. Which is good, because Luna doesn't just want to be, telling her life story to everyone she meets, with that whole idea of keeping it on the DL.
The Swallowtail Festival is a good place to blend in and hide because there'll be lots of people here.
Good.
But
I'm
as I said
glad.
before, stick close and you'll be okay.
Wonderful. Sound advice.
I definitely wouldn't wander off alone if I were you.
I was going to interrupt with Thrak saying something, but I'm just starting to realize he's pretty sloshed. I don't know if he knows what's going on, but he's having fun. In fact, he gets up from the table and wanders off in conversation, hopefully not troublemaking, elsewhere in the tavern area of the inn. But Fraken is quite interested in what you're saying, and he has a serious look about his face, much more serious than Rafkis. Obviously, something about Fraken finds this interesting. But he is kind of concerned about who might be following you. Are you sure, he says to you, that this is the right place to be talking of these matters?
Well, you guys don't necessarily strike me as the type who would...
But we're surrounded by a lot of ears.
That is true. In that case, if you want to know more, please feel free to pull me aside to somewhere private, or even, ask me and whisper me questions about myself.
Just dial 1-800, pull me aside.
Yeah, really, just, if you want to talk in private, we can always talk in private.
There you go. All right. He says to you, it would probably be a good thing in this day and age. You don't want to be talking about such things. And then he kind of relaxes a little bit, knowing such dire things that you're suggesting there, being pursued, aren't going to be discussed in the open like this. Yeah. And that takes us up to about, well, you guys can go as far as you want with this. Any other conversations you want to have or anything else you want to do this late at night. And at that point, we'll let you all just go back to bed. But it's going to cost you, Luna. You're going to have to pay extra because you came into town and didn't pay for your room. So you'll pay double for your room.
All right.
So let's actually do that. Unless you want to do something else now before the night ends.
No, I'll pay for my room.
It's 2 gold pieces a night. So you're going to deduct 4 gold pieces.
Okay.
And did you already pay up?
I think I did, yeah.
Or Rafkis, I mean?
Yeah, I got a room that me and Fraken are going to share.
That's
Mine
right.
only cost me 1 gold piece.
Sure.
They told me.
Oh, let me look. Maybe I got the
Told me to make
numbers
another 1 gold piece a night at the Rusty Dragon.
wrong. It should be 2 gold pieces a night.
Okay, I'll adjust my money accordingly.
So Luna, you're paying 4 because you didn't pay for your first night.
Okay.
And to put things in context, I know you guys are adventurers or about to become adventurers. I mean, you're level 1, but you've yet to actually be adventurers. So once you confirm to the owners here at the Red Dragon Inn that you are indeed adventurers, you can have free room.
Right.
And the reason for that is because Amiko, the owner, is actually an adventurer herself. And it was through adventuring that she rebuilt this place, the Rusty Dragon Inn. So it's a very adventurer-friendly tavern. In fact, that's why they have like a big billboard to the right of the entryway where people looking for adventurers can post things, people that need help or need caravan guards or somebody kill this ogre on the highway, that kind of thing.
Well, I guess Rafkis needs to turn in for the night. Because he needs to prepare some more spells. Because he used some. It's pretty late.
That was me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, then we'll speed it up then. If you don't want to have any more questions or anything at this point, like if you wanted to ask Rafkis, or not Rafkis, but Fraken anything, Thrak.
No.
Even though Thrak is sloshed, he probably couldn't answer too well anyway. He's having a good time. He's carousing with the ladies. He's trying to anyway. He looks over at. Never mind. I was gonna say something about the Pixies kitten, but anyway.
Thrak. Barkeep. Another round for my new friends and I.
There you go.
More ale.
Fill them up. Fill up those dry gullets. So let me think here. I want to get right to the Swallowtail Festival. Which we will do. There's 2 of us here. It's good enough for the moment. All right. 23rd of Rova. The next day.
Okay.
Rafkis, you're kind of slow to awake. In fact, you're not awake at the moment. But Luna, as we all know, elves don't really sleep. They kind of go into a trance-like state. So it's a little different experience for them. And they're usually on schedule when it's time to snap awake.
Mm-hmm.
Which you do so. And you have the opportunity to memorize, or let me see, you're a sorcerer, right?
Yeah.
What that means is, let me think. You don't actually prepare spells, do you?
No.
No. What happens is you have a limited selection of spells, which you chose on your character creation. And as long as you have those spells, you can cast them at any time during a day with whatever slots you have. You just cast them. So that's pretty potent. It's not like a druid who has to prepare specific spells for the day.
Yeah.
So you don't really have to go through that.
Okay.
Let me just double check this real quick because it is kind of important. I should know this. For the sorcerer, can you hear my voice getting scratchy? Maybe I should just whisper. QRS sorcerer. Yes. She can cast any spells she knows without preparing ahead of time.
Cool.
To cast a spell, a sorcerer must have a charisma score equal to at least 10 plus the spell's level. Blah, blah. You don't need to know that. The difficulty class for a savings throw against the sorcerer's spell is 10 plus spell's level plus sorcerer's charisma mod. You don't need to know that right now. Like other spellcasters, a sorcerer can cast only a certain number of spells of each spell level per day. Her base daily spell allotment is given on table 314. In addition, she receives bonuses for a high charisma. So in other words, you don't ever prepare your spells. Any spells that you know, in other words, they're written on your character sheet, you can cast. If it's a second level spell, you need a second level slot available. See how it works? If you have a first level spell, to cast it, you need a first level slot. What you do is you fill slots with spells of the appropriate level.
Okay.
The thing is, you only have a limited number of slots at each level that you can cast each day.
Mm-hmm.
That's your limitation. So if you start the day with, say, 1 second level slot available, you can cast one of your second level spells once per day. Because once that slot is used, it's gone. See how that works?
Yep.
Yeah. So what? And on your sheet, on the back of the sheet, it should tell you on the upper right, side 2 of the upper right. I don't know if you can see it. That has all your information about the number of slots you have at each level per day. So it keeps track of it for you. And I have it open as well. So if you need to know it, you just ask me. You might want to write it down, in fact, if you can't see it. Can you see it?
I don't see it. Hold on. Did you message it to me?
I did.
I don't see it.
All right, well, then write this down. Put a heading called spells.
All right.
Under that, put...
All right, sir. Let's go over this one more time.
Yeah, tell us again.
What the hell was that?
I have no idea.
Was that you or Bob?
I have no idea.
Okay, Bob. Anyway, spells known. You have 4 0 level.
4 0 level.
You have 2 first level.
2 first level.
I don't know what the hell my computer was doing.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
Uh-huh. Now, next to the 0 level, put the spell save DC as 14.
Spell save DC 14.
And for the first level ones, it's 15.
15. Got
Right.
it.
So if a target is allowed a savings throw against one of your first level spells, that DC, that's what he has to roll equal to or above to be successful at a savings throw against it.
Okay.
It's like his defense against your magic.
Ah.
And your slots, your spells known, also equates to spells per day. Like you can cast up to 4 0 level spells per day and up to 2 first level spells per day.
Cool.
So that gives you an idea. Now, one more thing to note next to your first level spells.
Mm-hmm.
You gain a bonus first level spell.
Ah.
So that 2 spells per day is actually 3, not 2.
Nice.
Okay, that's all you need to know right now.
Awesome.
So you don't have to prepare any spells at the start of a day like the wizard does, like the druids do. What you do is you basically refresh your slots. So you basically have 4 0 level and 2 first level and a bonus spell as well, a first level. What exactly that means, I don't know. I have to go back and look at this, if it's a bonus slot or a spell. But anyway, any spells you know you can cast by using those slots. Now, what spells you actually know, actually, I don't think is written on this sheet. I think I might have given that to you elsewhere. I did, in fact. Do you remember where I gave that list to you?
Yes.
I remember I sent you an email, but I don't know if I put the spells in there. It could be just
it was on Messenger. You gave me hold on.
Well, if you got them, you're good. Those are the spells you can cast.
Hold on, I'm just checking. Enchant +2 save enchantment spell effects, elven magic, laughing touch, under fence. Nope, you didn't give me any of the spells.
Oh God, I wrote them down somewhere.
Well, you can just PM me them, on our conversation when you get the chance.
All right. All right, so your day starts bright and early. It's the day of the festival, and you peek out your door, and you see very few people out and about at the moment, but that might be typical for the early morning hours. It's just daybreak.
Mm-hmm.
An earlier time for you than it was yesterday when you awoke, but you're all excited, getting ready for this big festival that's about to happen. So how do you want to do this? What would you like to do? This is the festival day. It's the 23rd of Rova.
So what I would like to do is I would like to head out and enjoy the festival.
That Yam was good role playing too. I like that.
Thanks.
Early morning. Let's see if I got some festival picks. Now, let's say you don't go out too soon and you wait till there's more people around and you hear Rafkis churning around. And what do, Rafkis?
I want to get some breakfast.
All right. Once again, you're all up and about and you smell the breads and the meats in the downstairs common area. And as you come out, Rafkis with Fraken and Thrak is pretty much leaving him. Well, actually, he's in a different room, isn't he? Yeah, he is. He's in a different room.
He might not even be up yet. He's probably still sleeping it off.
Yeah, he's not up yet. But as you come out, you do see Luna, who has been out, and she's sitting at another table now. And she's enjoying another breakfast, another good meal. Mark off 2 silver pieces.
Okay.
And what do you want to do, Rafkis?
We'll go. I'm going to go and sit down or walk over by Luna. And do you mind if I join you?
No, not at all. Please, sit.
How are the sausages this morning?
Very good as always.
Excellent. They do make good sausages here. So I'll order some breakfast for me and an extra side of sausages for Wyatt.
That's going to cost you Mark off 2 silver pieces.
Okay. How many silver are in a gold?
10.
10. Okay.
There's 10 copper to a silver, 10 silver to a gold, 10 gold to a platinum.
All right.
It's just like the metric system. Tens. Just got to know the order. Copper to silver to gold to platinum.
Got it. So what are your plans for today, Luna?
I'm probably gonna go out and enjoy the festival. What are your plans today, Thrak?
Oh, yeah.
He's still sleeping in his room.
Yeah. Zach's still asleep. It's just Kraken's with me, right?
Yep. And your wolf.
Oh yeah.
Still though, what are your plans for the day?
Well, I suppose Kraken and I will go out and enjoy the festival as well. That's the whole reason he came and the whole reason I'm in town this long.
Mm-hmm.
All right, you sit there enjoying your meal. About 30 minutes go by. A few more patrons in here at this time. It's about a few hours before noon. And the patrons have increased. There's about a dozen people in here at the moment. And Luna, it's pretty obvious to you that you recognize the person near the bar as being that Yard fellow that you met earlier the day before. He noticed him at the bar.
Okay.
No sign of Thrak. But you all sit there at the table and you're enjoying your breakfast and conversation, and you can tell that there's an excitement in the air, and already people are starting to start the early morning drinking festivities. Oh, and I forgot something. That the price you paid for your meals,
Yeah.
the 2 silver pieces for both of you, they're actually free today. All your meals are free today. So get those 2 silver pieces back.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
All meals are on the house today on the Swallowtail Festival. Enjoy.
Thank you.
It is a time to celebrate. And that's probably why there's more people in here in the morning enjoying the breakfast sausages. By the time about noon arrives, you can see there's quite a commotion in the place. There's about 24 people, maybe more, which is really unusual. But then again, it is the festival. I guess a lot of people are not working today. They're coming in to eat and enjoy the festivities. And there's a lot of laughter and good times going on. People are eating and feasting. And it's time for the festival to begin. Now, it would be known that it's most likely you want to head up to the cathedral area, because that's where everything was gathering. This is what you imagine for the festival.
I guess we'll head up there.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, let me back this up a little bit. It's about 9 a.m.
Okay.
I pushed. It's not near noon yet.
Okay.
And you can see a lot of people are heading out at this point, actually, and heading up to the cathedral square where the celebrations are scheduled to start in about an hour's time.
Okay.
Suppose we should head up there and get a good spot.
Yes, we should.
Sounds good. I don't think I have a map for this, but I will bring up that other map. This one. Just zoom in a little bit. This is that square where the gathering is. And there's quite a few tents here around the perimeter. And also right here, I'll leave my marker there where that arrow is.
Mm-hmm.
There's a big podium where obviously somebody will be standing and talking.
Mm-hmm.
And one second, let me grab my notes. Now you guys are sticking together.
Yeah.
I guess Thrak is going to miss out on this. He did not awaken, but you do recognize, Luna, that Yurt is there. You were there with Bob, or with Rafkis, I mean, and Fraken. So the three of you were together, I believe. And as you sit there, there's quite a respectable sized crowd at this point.
Yep.
And a few minutes go by, and you see the crowd starts to silence itself in anticipation of something. And there, walking up to the top of the podium, is Mayor Deverin. And I say this to Rafkis because he knows about Mayor Deverin.
Yeah, I know who he is.
She.
Yeah.
You don't know that much after all.
Well, here we go. Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah. Let me bring up her picture.
This might be a good time to take a nap.
Kendra Deverin, the mayor of Sandpoint. She reaches the top of the podium and begins to speak. Yeah, I'm not going to go into her actual speech because I don't want to talk a whole lot, but I will give you the gist of what's being said here. You tell right away she has an exciting attitude that's actually quite contagious, and the crowd feels what she's saying and the excitement of it all. She welcomes all the visitors to Sandpoint, welcomes them in, reminds people that meals are free at all the taverns and inns in Sandpoint, so enjoy. At one point,
huh?
I
want to get my grub on.
You do. At one point, she's so lighthearted about it and festive about it. She makes a joke that even Lars Ravansky, which is the local tanner in Sandpoint, has come to join the festivities, and you can tell right away that that's funny to the locals. You might know this, Bob, but Lars is seen in town as one of the hardest working, a workaholic, basically. So it takes a lot to pull him away to some festival. So she makes light of it all and even says that as a joke. Even Lars has made his attendance. And after that takes about maybe 10 minutes go by where she's given her speech. And then she turns about and the crowd kind of cheers, hurrah, and she walks off. And as she does, someone else steps up to the podium. And this person you've seen before. And this is the sheriff of Sandpoint.
That guy.
Balar Hemlock. See if I can resize this. No, it won't shrink. I have to get fancy. But anyway, he's the next one to step up. And the mood changes abruptly. And you get the sense that this guy here is he really brings the mood of the crowd, and you as well, right down, as he starts to remind everybody to be safe around tonight's bonfire. And he also calls for a moment of silence. A moment of silence to remember those who lost their lives in the fire that burnt this cathedral down and took the life of its previous curator. And a moment of silence settles over the crowd, including yourselves, even though you really might not know exactly what he's talking about, Luna.
Mm-hmm.
But it definitely brings the mood down. And then after about 5 minutes, he as well turns about and steps off the podium. There's a slight pause. And then suddenly another speaker approaches. You don't know this gentleman. In fact, I'm not even sure I have a picture of him. I don't think I do. Sorry, I should have something. But you get the gist that this guy is the owner of the Sandpoint Theater. He's very well known, and he has a way about himself. And he through his talk and his speech, he manages to change the mood and bring it back up again from its darker one that the sheriff had put upon people. He begins to recite in a lengthy process everything that the town went through to both finance and build this beautiful brand new cathedral. And you pause for a minute as you listen to this speech to look at the cathedral itself. And especially to you, Luna, you can appreciate craftsmanship and art probably more than others can. You being of pure elven heritage, you see that this is a beautiful stone structure. And it almost looks like something that doesn't belong here because it's so beautiful. And most of the buildings, unless they're a keep or a guardhouse, they're made of wood, simple wood houses, maybe in a Tudor-esque style. What is this Tudor you speak of? But anyway, that kind of style and more simple. But the cathedral is very outstanding looking and very tall, especially at its entrance, as it has these great spires that pierce into the sky. Anyway, he goes through this recanting this lengthy process that the town went through to have this built. And with that, he kind of leads into almost what sounds like a self-promotion. And he invites everybody. He invites everybody to join him at the theater the following evening to check out his newest production of The Harpy's Curse.
The Harpy's Curse.
And he also makes it quite apparent, and he's proud of this, that the lead role of Avisera, the Harpy Queen, will be played by none other than the famous Magnamarian diva Alashanda. And the crowd all goes, oh, wow. And even some cheers rise up. Oh, that's going to be good. And with that, he turns and leaves the podium. Then another person immediately comes up to speak. And this is a man dressed in robes, kind of a grayish blue robe, nothing fancy. And he greets everybody. And first thing he says is he asks everyone's forgiveness for one of the speakers did not show up today, which is Lanjiko Kaijitsu. Remember the Kaijitsu family, which is one of the founding families of Sandpoint, who has a manor house to the south of Sandpoint. You might have seen it. But Lanjiko is the patron of that family at this moment. And he was supposed to speak, and he did not. But that seems to go, you can tell by the crowd's response to this, that it's not surprising to them because he's known as being a dour type of individual and doesn't really frequent festivals and things of that nature anyway. So it's really no surprise to the crowd. So that's the first thing he does, is apologize for him not coming to speak today. And then he thanks everyone for coming and raises his hands to the sky, and he declares the Swallowtail Festival open. And there's a loud cheer in the crowd, and it begins. The festival has begun. It's about an hour or two away from noon, so it's still morning. The festival is open. Now, at this point, you can see, as you stand about, look around, the excitement that is carrying its way through here. You see people go right to some of the tents and merchant tents that have been set up around the square. There's not a whole lot of tents here, so don't get me wrong. This isn't some big market type of atmosphere like you might see in the Sandpoint market. There's not a lot of choice. You just have maybe a half dozen wagons where merchants are selling things, and you might have 2 or 3 pavilion tents that are set up where you can go in and partake in whatever's going on in there. But there is games, there is things you can do. Like I said, there's some merchants that might have something interesting, maybe from Magnamar itself, or if you want to have a arm wrestling contest and have bragging rights for the day, you can do that. There's also some dice and card games that you might want to play. Whatever you bet on those things is up to you. But if you guys want to do anything like that, now's your chance.
Oh, well.
Anything in particular you want to do, or would you want to just go back to the Rusty Dragon, or do you want to just enjoy what would you like to do?
I'm just gonna enjoy the festival.
Okay, you want to play a game or anything?
No, I'll just wander around. I'll look around the festival. I'll decide if I want to play a game or something while I'm looking around and checking it out visually and taking it all in.
Okay. Rafkis. And you also recognize that gnome bard that had been doing his thing earlier, kind of a to himself type of gnome. He hasn't really communicated a lot with you guys, but he has introduced himself, and you did see him playing his little fiddle a few times. He's also there playing as well. So there's music in the background. Rafkis, do you want to do anything in particular?
Can't think of anything. I just, I'm really just here for Fraken. So since Fraken won't be with us,
I'm sure Thrak would love to get in arm wrestling. He'd love it.
yeah, I think he would too.
And as you think that, you're kind of surprised because there you see him, and he is actually involved in an arm wrestling match. Half drunk, he's going at it. Rafkis, I want you to make the roll for him. It's a straight up strength test. Roll a d20, and you are going to add. Oops, dropped the book. Sorry about that. You're going to add a straight up +3.
All right. 20.
All right, there's no natural, there's no automatic success with the skill test. But you got a 20 +3, that's a total of 23?
No, that is a total of 20.
Okay, you got a total of 23.
No, a total of 20.
All right, a total of 20.
I rolled a 17 and added 3.
Well, you see Thrak, he's weighing into this guy, and you can tell he's a little bit overexcited. Perhaps the liquor is still in his system. I'm sure it is. Maybe not. He is a half-orc. But he's competing against this other half-orc who looks just as big and just as powerful as he is. Although he doesn't look to be a Shawanti or anyone of a barbarian heritage. But it looks like it's a good match. Okay. As they go at it, Thrakis pushes himself into this all out, and he seems to have the edge. He's pulling the guy's arm to the point where he's going to win. Roll again, please.
Okay. A 2.
Ouch. Ooh. It was getting close there for a second, but things have shifted, and it has gone right to the other side. And it looks like Thrak is on the point of letting the liquor get to him, and he's going to lose this match. There's a look of concern in his eyes, and a bead of sweat begins to drop off his forehead. Roll one final time for Thrak.
Nine.
Boom! With a loud crash, his arm hits the table. He's been defeated by this orc, and a cheer rises up around him. Thrak has been defeated. And
he needs to lay off the sauce.
Yeah, Thrak kind of looks down on his feet and downtrodden. You haven't seen him like this before. He looks very, very sad. You haven't seen him that way before. And then he wanders away from the table. Want to try a round, Luna?
No, and actually I'm going to be leaving the session for the day because I'm getting hungry, and I've had a pretty busy day today, so
you got to bring some munchies to the session.
Yeah.
You do. It's mandatory in role-playing games. You got to get yourself some munchies.
Yeah, well, I want to also see my parents, they've come home from work, so
Okay, that's all good.
yeah.
I appreciate you coming in and catching up on things.
Cool.
Didn't go as far as I wanted to because nobody was joining tonight, but that's okay. We'll set up the next session and go from there. But
We're gonna catch us some goblins.
yeah, there was a lot going to happen tonight, but nobody showed up really. But at least we got into the festival.
Yep.
I thought everybody was coming. That's why I got on. I stopped what I was doing.
Yeah.
All right. I'll see you all next session.
Okay, I'll talk to you soon, Victoria, and I'll let you know when the next session is. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Ta-ta.
And how about you, Rafkis? Do you want to try anything?
No, because if no one else is gonna play, I need to get some stuff done.
Yeah, I'm about ready to call it quits too because nobody showed up.
I know everybody's like, "Oh, I'm gonna play." I thought, okay, I'll play a second day, and no one's here.
Amazing. Well, Richard can be I can understand that. It's his mom.
Yeah, I get that.
But I don't know about Patrick, and I don't know about Vince. Vince is always late anyway. But we'll just set it up for the next time. All right, so how we'll end this, and I got to be feeling better anyway because I'm losing my voice and I feel like shit. But we'll end this session. It's the 23rd. The festival has begun, and it's in the early stages of the festival. So when we come back in the next session, you're going to be beginning from there. It's going to be, if you want to do anything like play some games, you can do that. There's more options now. And we're all set. So it's begun. We're into the festival.
Excellent.
Easy to remember. Okay, Bob.
All right, buddy. I will. I guess I'll talk to you later.
Okay, catch up on your stuff, Bob. I don't know when we're gonna do the next one. Probably put it off a week, just so I can have time to recover and we're not pushing it because you want to do some stuff too. So probably next week, Monday through Wednesday, we'll pick up again. Sound good?
Yeah. I just try. I'll whatever night everybody up. Tuesday nights aren't really good for me because of the chat.
Yeah.
But if everybody showed up on a Tuesday, I would come at least and play a couple hours until chat time. So, whatever night everybody thinks they're going to be here, I'll just pop out with them.
Okay. Once I get done with some of my stuff, I should be freed up starting next week of more time. So I might discuss with you guys other days to do this on that's better, because some of the people that were originally in this campaign, Ben and Alex, they're no longer playing at this point because we're playing it too late for them or too early. So I might discuss some other options, like maybe Friday's better or Thursday or Wednesday. I don't know, but maybe I'll bring that up.
Yeah, just find out and see what's. My schedule is probably more flexible than most people's.
Yeah. Okay, Bob.
All right, buddy.
Thanks for playing, and thanks for the concerns. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
All right, I'll see you again next week, Bob.
All right. Ta-ta.
Take care, my friend.
You too.